Alright guys, another long-awaited video. I know I promised this like 5 months ago, so excuse me for the long wait, but I've been pretty busy and I had quite some issues with my camera dying out on my GoPro, and they don't want to fix it, so I had to buy another my camera dying on my microphone dying on my GoPro, and then I had to buy another microphone from Rode, and that one wasn't really working either. So now I finally have a replacement from Rode. It's working fine, and I can finally make this video. So the MHD software review for my M135i. If you guys watched the previous video on why I switched from JB4 to MHD, you'll probably already know I had JB4 before. Which is the tuning box from BMS, Berger Motorsports in the USA, and I didn't like it. I had some issues with it when I shifted under heavy acceleration. It would drop out power for a second. Sometimes the shifts would be very rough and not smooth at all. So I thought about switching it, and MHD had their solution, which you just upload to your car through a cable and your phone, and that's it. So no tuners, nothing. The tuner is somewhere in Germany, I think. He writes the maps and he just puts it through your phone device. You download it, you pay for the app, you pay for the license, and you can just tune away. And simply it has been amazing. I went to it really at the start when not a lot of people had experience with it, so I a little bit took a risk on it. But a few people who had it really swore by it and really loved it, and I have also done the same. So I don't even know where to start on it. First of all, something really fun that I didn't even think of that I would like so much is they constantly give you updates. So every month or month and a half, they suddenly have an update. So when they started out, they didn't have an option to control your valves of the exhaust system. And now the past month, suddenly they had the option, so you get an extra, and then they had burble settings, and then they adjusted it, and now they sound better. And then they had some more boost in specific maps, and then they added ethanol E20 mixes, and just every month something new comes out, and every month you completely for free get like a new experience and a new map and some new options. And actually, like 2 weeks ago, they again said they adjusted the mappings a little bit, and the car really feels like completely different every time. So you really get like a new tune and an improved tune and a more fun tune, or in a different way, every couple of weeks. And I really love that about it. It keeps everything interested. It's really fun to constantly try the new things, and I love it. I love it. Let's start off with the maps. Just the maps. So I've been writing it down in a lot of comments. I got it from a Facebook group where someone actually put it down and said he was doing it, so I also started doing it. The maps are as the following. It's stage 1, stage 2, and stage 2 plus. Stage 1 is just a software tune when you have no additional hardware, so no downpipes, no intercooler, nothing. Stage 2 is when you have either a downpipe or either an intercooler, so one of the two. And then stage 2 plus is when you have a downpipe and an intercooler combined. And stage 1 and 2 are pretty good. They're like okay, they're like normal maps. But then when you go to stage 2, even when you don't have an intercooler, you should just try it for a second just to feel it. Because when you go to stage 2, it really is in a different world. The first time I was just shocked. I was blown away. The power, it's so incredibly linear, and it just pulls and pulls and pulls, and it never stops. It doesn't die. JB4 used to die at like 5.5, and even my JB4 tuner told me like, yeah, you have to shift in this car at 5.5 because after that it dies. It's the engine, he told me. And with this, it really doesn't. It keeps pulling to 6.5 or even 7. And the pull is just extremely linear. It almost feels like, you can feel boost, but it almost feels like a naturally aspirated car in the way that it pulls linearly. It doesn't have surges in certain RPM ranges. It just pulls in the same manner from start to finish. So shifts are smooth as always. Maybe it's just in my head, but maybe even a little bit smoother under acceleration, but they were great. And the mappings, as I said, what I learned from the other person on Facebook is that even though MHD say and advise you to run an intercooler and a downpipe with a stage 2 plus map, someone just tried it without an intercooler and he kept running it, and he also had a P3 digital gauge and ways to monitor his intake temperatures. And what he noticed is that his intake temperatures, especially when you're living in a colder climate, never really were a problem. So with my JB4 I had a Bluetooth app and I could see the temperatures. And what I noticed is that my temperatures were constantly going to 50, and in traffic, in stop and how do they call it? Start and stop traffic. They rose to like 62 degrees Celsius, and everyone told me like, whoa, above 40 it's not okay, it's not good. And even the tuner told me like, whoa, when it's above 40 it's like not good. And it constantly was above 40, even when just cruising it was at 45. So that's another thing about the JB4. And now when I have the MHD, and especially in colder climates, this is my intake temperature, and I've been driving now for like an hour, and as you can see it's still at 20 degrees, so the intake temperature is perfectly fine, and I'm in stage 2 plus without an intercooler. So if you're living in a colder climate and you have a way to monitor your intake temp, just try running the stage 2 plus without an intercooler, with just a downpipe, and in most of the cases you will be fine. By summer, when it really gets hot, I'm either going to get an intercooler or switch to stage 2. So there's a solution there. Furthermore, the tuning process is very simple. The first time it takes a little bit longer, but with a good cable it takes like 25 minutes to upload it from your phone. Once you have the software uploaded, changing between maps, between 0, 1, 2 or 2 plus, literally takes like 2 or 3 minutes. So you can change everything on the fly, you can adjust your burbles, you can control your valves. And right now I have it set that when I'm in sport mode, the valve is always open on my MPE. So when I'm in comfort, the valve is always closed. So when I drive in comfort, it's more silently, and when I'm in sport, I get some more pops, and I have it a little bit louder. You can also remove the top limiter, the top speed limiter, and also a very big one, which was one of the main reasons of getting away from JB4, is you actually get the option to remove the cold start function. And I was told that the cold start's only function is to warm up your cats faster, so they can get better emissions quicker. And I don't have cats anymore, so there was no use for the cold start, and it was so loud. I have an MPE, no cats, and a resonator delete, and it was deafening, and my neighbors weren't really getting happy with it. Let's just do a quick. I don't even know if you can see it or if it comes across on video, but the pulse. I recorded the JB4 video in exact this location, and here I had a really nasty shift where it like dropped out power for a second and then gave like a jerk of power in an instant, and this is just downshift, and it just pulls. Oh my god, it's insane. It's so weird because I sound like complete like an idiot tune boy on an LD parking lot who tuned his car with his phone, and it sounds so bad, but it's unbelievable. My Megane tuned, my previous 1 Series tuned, the E87 version, my first car. I pretty much had all the cars tuned. We now have our Macan tuned, and all by different tuners, all by whatever JB1, JB4 tuners in Belgium. And this is the best tune I ever had, and it's uploaded by myself through my phone. It's really, you can't understand it. I'm sometimes afraid to tell someone if you ask, oh, who tuned your car, and I have to tell them I did it myself on my phone, because I don't want to look like an ass who doesn't know what he's talking about. And I don't know what I'm talking about, but it's just, they made it so simple that everyone can do it without knowing what you're doing. It's just, and I think it's airtight, I think, because I've been running it now for like 8,000 kilometers, and the car didn't hiccup once, nothing strange happened, nothing weird, no kicks, nothing. So crazy. This is literally on the edge of too much power for me, and it's mainly the torque, because MHD claims like 630 Newton meters, which is just a claim. I didn't have it on the dyno yet, but when you feel it, it kind of is believable because the torque is just such a wave that just doesn't end. So it's really crazy. It keeps pulling until you release the pedal. It doesn't stop until like 240. It's when it starts slowing down. So it's really nice. Also, the power stays fun. You don't really get used to it. Like in my Megane, it first felt fast when I tuned it, and then I got used to it. But this is like so much for me, so that even after a couple of months of daily driving it, when you give it the full beans, you still get a little bit of the pushback in your seat and the rear tingly feeling in your stomach. So it's great. I'm over the moon with it. As you can probably hear from my voice, I'm really excited about it. So to anyone, and MHD starts working in a lot of cars. They now have maps for the M3, the M4, the M2, which is also the N55 platform. They used to have it, they still have it, but they started with the N54 from BMW. And you have a couple of more engines, and there's constantly more coming out from them, so they're constantly updating their stuff and constantly have new stuff to surprise you with. And most of the time it's free, so you pay once. It's cheap, it's really cheap. I don't know, it depends on every country. I don't even know what I paid anymore. I think it's €250 for the license, and then €99 for the package of the stage 1, 2 and 2 plus maps. So it's like €350 in total, which is nothing. A good map in Belgium costs €850, and JB4 cost me like 700 in total. So it's almost half of the price. It actually is half of the price. So it's the best value, and it's probably the best thing I ever bought for my M135i. So once again, like in the pre-3 gauge review video, if you have any questions, if there's anything more that's unclear, or you want to ask me something, put it down in the comments, and I'll be as fast as possible to get back to you and give you the appropriate information and help you out if you have any questions or help you need. Probably I forgot a couple of things, but I'm just doing this on the fly. I didn't prepare for this. So maybe I forgot a couple of things, but I hope this had enough information, and that people are actually can actually get something from this video. So if you're thinking about getting MHD and you're still like doubting or on the edge between choosing between MHD or another software, I would really recommend it. For the things I said about running Stage 2 Plus without the intercooler, don't take my word for it. I'm not an expert, I don't know anything about it. I'm just doing it and it works for me, but really don't take my word for it. MHD knows best, and they recommend to run it only with an intercooler and a downpipe. So you're best to do that. If you want to try it and see what you like and what you think about it. I think that's everything I had to say. So thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye.